What is going on? Everyone can hear me? Let's see what we got here. Got some people in the room. Welcome everybody. If you can hear me well, go ahead and put in the chat. Yes. I can see Lucas saying something over there. Kaylee, welcome to the webinar. Chloe, Justin, woo! All right. Let's rock and roll here. So I'm really glad to have you guys on here. We are doing a little different setup today. Normally I have this on, with some slideshows and everything. We went ahead and rented a classroom actually, because a lot of these topics that we do is very educational, right? So if we try to do these topics, we do once a month. So we have webinars all over throughout the year. We talk about the flight school marketing system, which I'm about to get into. We talk about how to grow your school, leadership, building your business, a lot of good topics to partake in. So if you are if you are in this meeting, that probably means you're on our mailing list. So make sure you check our newsletters and our emails that go out like about once a week or about a couple times a month. We stay up to date with all the events that we're doing. We just got back actually from the National Association of Flight Instructors. So I think Ned is over there and Andrew. Nice to see you again from a while ago. Saw you like yesterday, 2 days ago. So anyway, we're here back in St. Louis. We're doing our thing, and I'm really happy to have you guys on here. Yep. Thank you for seeing us in Akron, Ohio. And we're back in track, and we're in St. Louis, so we're hitting the road again, and probably a few weeks actually. So we're going to be going to potentially NBAA, their base conference. They're doing some 135 stuff, and then we're also going to be with King Schools, John and Martha King. They're having a cruise later in November, December. So come check us out there. Network. There's a lot of good talks, a lot of good seminars. I think part of it, if you're in this room right now. If you're in this room right now, listen to me talk. If you go to these events, I want to first off congratulate you. So I always start off these type of webinars and sessions with a good congratulations. I think you guys should put your hand and pat yourself in the back. The reason I say this is because by attending these webinars, by going to trade shows and conferences, aviation events, that means you're invested in yourself. You're invested in your business. You're invested in growing your school, and you're invested in learning all the things that are out there that you need to learn to grow your business, and you're invested in it. And by doing that, that separates you from other people, right? So there's other people out there. There's two types of flight schools that I always kind of say, and you don't want to be the flight school where you're negative and you got red, your account balance is all red, and you have no students coming in, and you're debating, how, do I do this overhaul or do I do whatever, and you're scratching your head on all this stuff, and you don't know where to go forward. I don't want you to be there. I think every business owner has there's always cycles to the business, right? Especially when you're in the startup phase. A lot of people, it's hard. There's certain thresholds and milestones you have to hit in order to stay in business, and social media, which is our topic of today, is one of them. So like I said, the other side of this equation is, you're doing everything right. You have your operations going well. You have your HR admin going well. You have your sales and marketing going well in your business, and you're growing, you're booming. That's what we want for our flight schools. That's what we want for anyone that works for the Rudder Marketing, anyone that attends these webinars, even if you don't, you don't work with us as a client, don't work with us to do your marketing. We still hope that you have success in your endeavors. We really want to give you the knowledge that's out there. A lot of this stuff, by the way, is free. So, this webinar is free. I personally learned marketing free. Well, not really free. I met a lot of coaches, mentors, joined a lot of groups, attended a lot of sessions like this, and that's how I learned how to do the stuff we do. And that's why, I'm always invested. I always tell our team that we're super invested into continuous improvement. It's always about continually improving your process, trying to level up, each time, every single day you wake up, learning more stuff. So if you are in this one, you are part of the inside group. So kudos to you, and let's get started. So here's the agenda today. We have here, it's really quick. I want to have a lot of time for discussion. One of the things I really like about these webinars is that we're able to open up the floor at the end for questions, and people can exchange ideas and different strategies that might work for them, right? So I'm saying things that we do here at Rudder Marketing that I've seen work really well. However, you guys have your own experiences and all your things going for you. You have your everything going for you, so you might have a different take than we do, right? So yeah, we'll have a what do you call it, a round table towards the end for everyone to kind of participate and hang out with. So that is kind of the last one. We're gonna go over the flight school marketing system really quick, because I think that's kind of the foundation first. We got to kind of go over some fundamentals before we get into more tactics and strategies, right? Then we're gonna go over social media stuff, and then we're gonna go over each different platform, and all their stuff that we have going on for each platform. Kind of go through different techniques and strategies, and we're gonna rank them and kind of say which is the best bang for buck. So I think a lot of times as business owners or managers in a business, we're pulled in different directions, right? So whether it's operations, whether it's training, instruction, maybe a CFI has an issue, maybe you have an HR issue. A lot of times social media and all that stuff and marketing gets put in the back burner, right? So we have to be able to delegate our time correctly, and we have to be able to use our time efficiently. So we're going to rank and kind of tell, at least in my opinion, different types of social media platforms that are out there, which is the best bang for buck for you as a flight school owner. And there's some that might surprise you, to be honest with you. There's some, I have some good stuff that might surprise you as far as our social media stuff. So that is the agenda. As far as housekeeping stuff, right? So if you are on this, if you've never joined a webinar, and with Rudder Marketing, we are using the Riverside platform, very similar to a Google Meet. However, it's right now it's just kind of me talking to the screen. But you do have the option to use the chat over here, and we see that right away. There's also, if you want to go on camera and have a mic set up and all that stuff, you're willing. There's a button on the very bottom that says I think attend as guest or something, or hop on as a guest. Just put a chat message in and we'll let you in here, and then you can kind of speak to you. I'll let you get the floor as well, and you can kind of collaborate and talk to the group as well. So we have about 11, 12 people in this call right now. So I'm sure people will keep funneling in, but those are the housekeeping kind of tips here. So yeah, if you have anything, feel free to feel free to put a text message in there or hit the button for going live with us, and we will have you on the show, and you can talk about your take or your perspective on today's topic is social media. So if you want to talk about social media, so let's go over here. This is go this way. Everyone can see this. So this is a really bad rendition of the flight school marketing system. So if you guys seen previous webinars or if you even looked at our website, we have this really fancy graphic that has what we call the flight school marketing system. And what it is, it's 5 different components of how to do marketing in general for your business. And that's what we do here at Rudder Marketing. We focus on these 5 components. Obviously, there's a lot more that goes into each component. So social media kind of is a middle one. It's not its own thing. It's kind of goes in different places, right? So I'm going to go through each one, and then I'll kind of talk to you where social media comes in, right? So the first one on the top left here is your website. So the website is your foundation of your marketing. It's your first biggest asset that you have. It talks about your business. You put your core values on there, your mission statement. But more importantly, you have forms that you put on there, call to actions. This is your lead generator. So this is the way to capture the leads, right? So you're usually through your website, you should have some type of form, whether it's a contact me form or enrollment form or some type of digital form that people can use their phone, use their computer, their tablet, whatever it is, maybe their iWatch, whatever it is. They go on, they put their details in, and eventually you as the owner or the manager of your company should be able to see a prospective student's information. And then from there, you reach out to them, right? So that's the website. Now, where does social media kind of fall in your website? So there's different things you could do. For one, if you have a social media profile, a lot of times there is an option to add, a website to your profile. Do that. So that provides a backlink. So that kind of gets into the SEO part, which we'll talk about a little bit soon here. But the more places you are online, whether it's directory listings or social media, your own website, or even different types of websites you might have for different businesses, the more that they're linking together, you have like URLs that patch to different places. So if I have, let's say, a discovery flight form, and then I might have a URL that goes to the airport or something like that, or whatever it is, the better. So social media profiles, put your website on that social media profile. It's kind of basic stuff, but that's also do that. The second thing too that we've done for a few of our flight schools, not a lot of them, it really depends on what you want. You can put a feed, like you can get a plugin. If you use WordPress or Wix, you can get a plugin. For us, we actually code our websites from scratch. We have a whole team of developers. I'm a developer myself. I'm a pilot and developer. I do software. You can put like different plugins, and we just did it from scratch. We use a thing called ElfSite actually, and then we just kind of copy and paste the code in there, and then it gives you a feed kind of your social media profile. So a lot of times people choose Instagram for that, but you can actually add a small component in your website that shows your recent activity. So that's something you can do on your website as far as social media goes. But for my main takeaway for the website is make sure that they're linked to each other. You have links to your social media on your website, and on your social media, you should have links to your website. So it should, go, cross check, go back and forth, right? Second component of the flight school marketing system is your SEO. It's now evolved into GEO, which stands for Generative Engine Optimization. This is talking about like ChatGPT. This is talking about like Grok and all that stuff. How do I say this? Social media is not really a SEO component. However, it does have great effect to it. So if you have, for example, a Twitter profile, I know a lot of flight schools don't really use Twitter. There's not much engagement happening in Twitter. However, it has what's called a high domain authority. What that means is this website, Twitter or X.com, through the years has so much traffic that has been routed to that website that Google respects whatever's on that website. So if you make a profile on Twitter, very likely you will start how do you say, that Twitter page might show up on your search results on Google. So I recommend you know make the Twitter profile. That's part of one thing. So SEO does refer to, but kind of circling back here, I go on tangents a lot of times. So if I ever, by the way, I know right now I'm just talking out loud. If I ever go off the rails here and we're talking about something completely different, feel free to put it in the chat. Say, hey, Tim, what about this? Give me back on track. Anyway, talking about SEO here. Yeah, the profile, if you make social media profiles, a lot of times that will show up on the search results. So it's very important. GEO stands for generative engine stuff. That's like your AI chatbots. If you do a good job with SEO, typically you show up on the chatbots, but a lot of times they like to look at your social media as well. So they make sure that you have a Facebook, that you have a LinkedIn, whatever. That's the GEO SEO portion of it, right? Over here, you have paid ads. So PPC stands for pay-per-click advertising. Our main method of PPC for Rudder marketing clients is we first start with Google ads. That's not really social media. But, as you move on and forward, you have Facebook ads and Facebook retargeting and stuff like that. Facebook and meta ads. You can also get into like Hulu, Reddit, and Bing and all this stuff. It's a good component to add with social media, right? So you should already be building your social media profiles organically. However, PPC is a great supplement, a necessary supplement. Actually, I shouldn't say supplement. It's a necessary component of it. You need to have some type of ads running in addition to your regular marketing on your social media profile. And we'll kind of get into different platforms and different options for your paid ads that you can run on your social media. This one on the very end on the tail here is called your reputation management and your authority building. This is a lot. The social media really puts a big picture here. If you have the social media profiles set up, if you have engagement in there, that really builds your reputation overall. So if someone looks at, let's say, Henderson Flight Training or something like that, and you have your website built up, you have ads running, you're showing up on Google as number 1 or number 3, you have you got good reputation going, and then you have good profiles and social media going, then it's going to help you a lot, right? The last one, which doesn't really have much to do with sales social media here, is your sales process. So that's looking at when you get a lead, when you get contacts that come in the funnel, how do we treat those contacts? What emails, what touches do we have in the sales process to each prospect that we have, like each lead? How many messages we sent them, text messages, emails, things like that. You could, if you want to kind of wing in some social media in there, you could run an automation after they sign up for a discovery flight that sends them a DM on like Snapchat or something like that, or Instagram. We usually just do an email or text message, but it's an option. You can always add that to your sales process if you want to message them on Facebook or something. That's always a possibility, right? So that is kind of the flight school marketing system as a whole. And so social media kind of fits in multiple places. You have a little bit in your website, right? You have a lot of it in SEO. SEO is kind of like, that helps build a profile. And the main part of it is reputation authority, right? But you can also run ads on there. So social media kind of encompasses different parts of the flight school marketing system. So that's why I bring this up, because you look at the components, you look at what we do, and you look at social media, and social media has its own kind of take on the flight school marketing system, right? Any questions on that? All right. So let's go over here. My producer guy, unfortunately, left the room, so I gotta move this manually by myself. So we're gonna move this over here. All right. How are we doing? All right. So here is the next part of the webinar. So we're gonna talk about strategies that you can have for your social media. I don't know if you guys can see this very well. Maybe the lighting's not very good. See if I can move it around here. All right. So first one is know the platform. You have to understand that each platform has a different demographic, right? So, and we're going to get into the different platforms pretty shortly. Hold on. Let me put this mic down. So just in general, for example, I don't know if anyone's seen this logo before. So this is the Snapchat logo. So if you know the platform, you kind of know what it does, or I'll kind of talk a little bit what it is. Snapchat is a platform where people send pictures to each other, but they get automatically deleted, right? Unless they screenshot it. And in that case, if they screenshot it, the other user then gets a notification that they screenshotted the image. So a lot of times a lot of people that use this were very young. You can run ads on here. So it's potential. But you have to know that each platform has a different demographic, right? So you think about this too. This is a very popular one. This is LinkedIn. So LinkedIn, on the other hand, has a very vastly different demographic than, your Snapchat, right? You're going to have different audiences on each one. So you want to tailor your message and the way you do your videos, your photography, based on the platform, right? And we'll go through each platform individually, but I want to bring this up as an example that you're not going to post the exact same thing on Facebook that you are on LinkedIn, especially if you use your personal profile and personal profile. So personal profile versus business profile. Let's take a quick tangent here. If you are the business owner, not necessarily a manager or a CFI at a company, but if you're a business owner, your personal social media profiles have a direct impact actually on how well your business profiles perform. So a lot of times what will happen is Google will actually link, if you have the right content that's going out there on the internet, they will link your personal profile stuff and your business profile stuff and your website all together. And they'll say, oh, this, let's say Ned is the owner of this flight school here, or Tim is the owner of this flight school here. And then, hey, this is Tim's flight school here, and this is the flight school website. This is the flight school business profile, social media profile. This is the Tim's social media profile. They're going to kind of link it together, especially if you have the same keywords, the same names in there. And then it's called a Google Avatar. I think it was a certain name for it, but they build this user profile based on who you are. And a lot of business owners don't like to put their name out there. But from a marketing perspective, that's kind of shooting yourself in the foot. Google wants to know who you are. Google wants to know what your business is all about. So I went on a tangent for a little bit, but have a business profile, your own social media profiles that counts for your business and your flight school, but also have your own stuff on your personal, and then share, back and forth with each one. So that's a golden nugget here. I don't know if you've seen this on our social media for Rudder Marketing. We'll have Rudder Marketing post, say a video, then I might share it on my personal feed. And then, to be honest with you, your personal social media profiles have way more authority and way more reach compared to a business profile or a company page or something like that. So just keep that in mind. I know that we don't want to sometimes mix personal and business together, but as a business owner, it's a sacrifice you might have to consider doing. Self promotion, right? You have to be have a little bit of self promotion, right? That's what this is. Knowing the platform, know your audience, know that you have to build different profiles for yourself and also for the business. Two different things, but make sure you capitalize on your own personal brand and the company brand, right? So there's two different things, but you kind of combine the two. Next one over here is graphics versus video. So for the longest time, when you think about social media marketing, a lot of times you go on, let's say Fiverr and all this stuff, you'll have a guy from, I don't know, wherever, maybe the States or maybe from India or something. They'll promise you that they'll help you with social media, and what they'll do is they'll make a lot of designs. They'll do a lot of like pictures and graphics, talk about your program. They'll post regularly. They'll respond to posts. That worked, I would say, probably like 10 years ago. A lot of the new algorithms these days are now switching to video. So I'm not opposed to doing graphics. I think we do photos every once in a while at Rudder too. Photos are a great start. If you don't have enough time and capacity to make, short form, long form, medium form content, then of course a picture of someone soloing will be adequate, right? However, ideally you have video. Video is kind of the next frontier of marketing. We really want to make sure we have some video built in for your business. So that kind of brings us to videos, right? So there are different forms of videos. You have short content, medium content, there's a long form content. Let's define each one. Does anyone know what doom scrolling is or bed rotting is? If anyone know what that means? Anyone in the chat? Would a GIF follow under video? No, that's more of a graphic. Let's just share that. Do you have a producer on here? Can someone share this in the? Would a GIF follow under a video? So yeah, it's not. It's more of a graphic. Yes, LOL. I forgot my question. I lost. Okay, so how about short, medium, and long form content? I lost my train of thought. What was I talking about? Bed rotting. Oh, yeah. Do you guys know what bed rotting is? And I'm very fortunate and blessed that I have a producer on. I think Raul is working in the background here. Sam is over behind the screen, kind of assisting me move the TV, although he missed that one. So doom scrolling, bed rotting is the act. It's a new slang that's coming out. It's the act. So it's the act of going on Instagram and TikTok and just like doing this all day, you know. So you might see some people, let's say at the airport, they're wasting time, they're just doing this, you know, scrolling. Do you know why they're scrolling like that? It's because of short form content. So short form content is a dopamine injection in your brain. Typically, they have interesting videos. Maybe someone taking for us in aviation, maybe someone's landing or someone's talking about a fun topic. Usually, it hits the dopamine receptors pretty well, and you get that small hit, and you just gotta keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. And that's short form content. So the next one over there is medium form content. So short form content's roughly 30 seconds to a minute and a half, if that makes sense. This is usually very short. Attention spans are decreasing in America. Short form content is to blame. Then you have medium form content. Medium form content is a little better. Medium form content's more like 2 to 5 minutes. I'd say 10 minutes is kind of pushing it. That's usually a little bit more quality into this into that thing. It's let me see here. My camera is a little messed up. Give me 1 second. Sorry. I'm slowing down. Okay. My what do you call it? My computer was really glitchy here. So medium form content's about 2 minutes to 10 minutes. It's usually higher quality content. You need to have one of the biggest things of all three, right? Is you need to have the hook. Like, why should people watch this video? Like, for example, like, why are you watching this webinar right now? It's because I'm giving you strategies on social media that you might not know, right? And if you're making content for your flight school, some tips I have, like, Wingtip Wednesday. Did you know that XYZ? Did you know that this airplane is blah, blah, blah? That's a hook that you can use to capture people. A lot of it is like, this is how, or 5 tips to do X. Those are the types of hooks that really get people to stop scrolling and help you get going. So, and all form, whether short, medium, or long, should have some type of hook to keep the person engaged and looking at it. For medium form content, I'd say if you can get past a minute of someone watching it and then they actually enjoy the content, they're going to stick around to the end. For shorts, it's like 2 seconds. So if you're making a short video, like a 30-second to 1 minute video, if you don't have a good hook within 2 seconds, 2-3 seconds, then you are gone. So consider that when you make your content for shorts. And we'll get to different platforms as well as where you post these shorts and what to put on these shorts. But the hook, or the, what do we call it, the threshold of hook, I guess you can call it, or the timeline of a hook. 2 seconds, about a minute. Long form is about a minute as well too. So if you can't get the person interested within a minute, it's not going to be really good, right? Another thing to kind of consider here. So it's not just adding a picture or creating a video. The second part of a post on social media is actually the description and the keywords. So that's kind of the next topic here. And you want to consider, and we have a keyword checklist on our website somewhere. You want to consider all the local municipalities, demographics, and also your pilot programs that you offer. And you want to make sure you sprinkle that in your descriptions and also your content. So if someone's soloing, say at KLXT, which is Lee Summit Airport, you would have the video, hopefully nicely edited, or maybe a picture of someone doing the solo activity. And then on the post, you'll have a description, and obviously the description says, hey, Tim Jedrick just soloed our Cessna 172 at KLXT Summit Airport. We're so proud of him. If you are in the Kansas City and Lee Summit area, come check out Summit Flight Academy. Like, you have all these keywords sprinkled into the description, and ideally, sometimes it will start ranking actually in Google. Surprisingly, so some social media posts do get ranked on Google, and I'll kind of get into that later as well. So that's this keyword description. Don't let that run on autopilot. Make sure you kind of vet the description. A lot of times it's hidden depending on what platform you're using. So for example, on YouTube is a social media platform. I don't know. On YouTube, you have the shorts option, which when you watch the shorts or the YouTube reels, I think they call them, or clips, I don't know. What will happen is you only see the video. There's no real description until you click the bottom left, and then get a description. In addition to this too, the title of the YouTube clip, like the shorts, is not visible, but you can actually load your keywords into the title. So in this case, it'd be student pilot solo KLXT Lee Summit Airport Summit Flight Academy, September 25th, something like that, right? You would have that as a title that's not seen by anybody as far as the shorts go, but it still adds a keyword to the algorithm. Hashtags. I would say no to hashtags, by the way. So hashtags used to be a thing about a couple of years ago. A lot of the algorithms, Zuckerberg and Elon Musk have actually opted out for hashtags. The idea for hashtags was you get to tag certain events, and you can click that button, and it'll show nice things that are matching to it. They've got their software teams are trying to make it where the platform understands the video content based on the actual video script, like the transcript, and also the description you put in, that they should understand what the video is about, and therefore they will target that video for the right people. So hashtags has lost as much help, as much juice as it used to have. Now, am I saying don't do it? I'm saying, yeah, no, you can keep doing it. We do it every once in a while too for Rudder marketing. It's not a bad thing, but I started this out and I'd put like 20, 50 hashtags for hoping for the best, and I didn't really see any better performance when I didn't have hashtags. So my answer to hashtags is you can do it if you want. It doesn't really have any effect these days, is my opinion. So recycle content. So one of the biggest problems I think we have as a business owner is putting content out regularly and consistently. So the last one is consistency. It's hard to get content out like on a very consistent basis. So my recommendation is to do what's called recycling. And this is the strategy that we use here at Rudder Marketing a lot. So, for example, this is a webinar. I'm talking about social media marketing. It's a long form content piece. From this video, we're going to transcribe this video, right? That's then going to go into a blog post, or it's going to be a blog post in our website. Then from that blog post, it then goes to our Google Business Profile. Our Google Business Profile then has keywords and descriptions that link to that blog post. So I now have three different assets I've just created by this one video just now that we're making together, me and you. So we have three pieces right there. From there, we can actually cut different segments of this video into, say, a medium form thing. That they might, let's say we do, let's say, one or two different clips from this, about 2 minutes each, 2 to 5 minutes each, about a certain topic. Maybe it was talking earlier about the flight school marketing system. Maybe it was about ads. I talked about ads for a few minutes, right? That is its own 2-minute clip. And then that's now 5 pieces of content we just created. From there, you can cut it even further into a 30-second short and syndicate it to 10 different networks. And now we have, I don't know, 15 different pieces of content, right? And then you just need to have one post per day on each different platform, right? So I try to complicate it. But you don't have to do every single platform every single time. You can do, let's say, Facebook one day, LinkedIn another day, but it's the same content, just a different kind of tweak to it. So yeah, recycle the content and be consistent. So let's do a survey. How frequent should we be updating our social media profiles and accounts? What do you think? You think it's one day, post every day? You think it's post every week, post every month, post every quarter? We got 1 week in here. We got 1 week from Justin. Who else has ideas? Daily, yeah, daily. Daily from Lucas. Anyone say monthly? No one said monthly. So the idea here is, yeah, I'd say 1 week is probably the most ideal, just as far as time. cost benefit. Um, the best is obviously daily. If you look at the bigger YouTube stars and bigger syndications that do like a lot of marketing, and not really marketing but just social media stuff, they post like every day. I mean, it's if it's whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on Facebook, they're posting every day. And you gotta also consider this too. So when you make a video, when you make a graphic, you have to treat it such that whenever someone looks at that graphic, you have to treat it such that that's probably the first time they've ever heard of you, ever. Obviously, there's going to be a certain demographic, a certain population that already knows who you are, and they're going to see it anyway. But we want to treat every single graphic, every single video, every single post that we do as if we're showing this to someone that has no idea what we're talking about. So that's why I always introduce the flight school marketing system. That's why I always say, here's what we do. Because, maybe this video goes out, then someone who has no idea who we are logs in, and they need to be able to know what we do, right? So treat every single post as if no one knows who you are, and then also post regularly. Daily is the best answer, but it's also not the most feasible answer. So I'd say 1 week. What I don't like to see with my flight schools is like they haven't posted for 2 months. That kind of scares me after a month or two. We should do at least something. Whether you're having an event like a fly-in, Halloween's coming up, so post something about Halloween. Utilize the holidays that you have. So there's July 4th, Christmas, Thanksgiving, Labor Day, Memorial Day. Use those to your advantage. Those are great opportunities to just get a simple post out there, a simple email or whatever it is, to do some marketing. I was talking to Sam, who's behind there, and he's trying to do some sales for Rudder Marketing. And I said, in order to get a close, whether it's a flight school for us or to say a student for you guys, that person has to have interacted or been touched, has seen your company at least 30 to 50 different times before they actually sign the renter's agreement, before they sign the contract, whatever it is. Ideally, they're going to do the research. They're going to look you guys up. They need to see your stuff consistently. So it takes 30 to 50 different touches to get to a close, to get to a end goal, right? So if we're only posting once a month, they're losing the opportunity to touch our prospects more frequently. So we really want to, be visible as much as possible. And if you create good quality content, not just quantity content, but a good quality content, and people start engaging with it, you have a higher likelihood of people actually engaging with it, liking it, being more viral, having it being seen. So although I know I'm pushing for the quantity aspect of everything, there's definitely a quality aspect of it too. That's important. But here's the thing. You think about the Pareto principle, 80-20 rule. I talk about recycling content. I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad to do. So you can still do it. It still gets 80% done in the work. You still got the post out. So my take on it. All right. So let's move on to the next one. So we talked about different strategies. I'm going to go into different strategies individually for each platform. I have on the table here 11 different social media platforms. So what I want someone in the audience to do is to pick a number between 1 to 11, and I'm going to pick a random one based on that number that we have here. Sam was the first one, so we had 4. So we have 4. So okay. This is 1. This is 2. This is 3. Probably need an assistant here, and this is 4. Clean that up real quick. Yeah. All right. You say hi to the camera. What's up? So this is the first social media platform, which might surprise you. You might think, hey, is this actually a social media platform? We should treat this as a social media platform. So if you work with Rudder Marketing, we actually do manage this platform for you guys. It's because sometimes some of it's a little technical. But ideally, on this platform, we should be updating at least once a month. I wouldn't say this is a weekly or daily thing. I think this is a once a month thing. The exercise we're going to do here is, let's see if I can, Sam, can we move this a little bit more to the left over here? See if we can, yeah, there we go. I guess that's good enough. All right. So we have different rankings here. So this is S tier, which is like, I don't know, what does S tier stand for? It's like super or supreme, or I don't know. We have S tier is the best platform for flight schools to use and utilize for social media. We have A tier, which is like, it's pretty good. B tier is like, hey, you should probably have it, but it's not the best. C is like, go for it. It might help you a little bit. F is like, don't waste your time on it, but you could do it, but it's not gonna do anything for you. Google Business Profile. Where does this rank? I would put this actually on the S tier because it's not really a social media thing and community engagement thing, but from a revenue generating perspective, having a robust Google Business Profile means that you will rank super high on Google if you have a good Google Business Profile with lots of reviews, you have lots of pictures, lots of posts. If you have a good Google Business Profile, very likely your school and your website will also be listed on top of Google too. So for that reason alone, I put it on the S tier here. So social media stuff, as far as Google Business Profile, make sure you update once a month, add your blog posts to it, add your products and services to it. Make sure you categorize your profile the right way. So there's different categories for businesses you can put in. We put in flight school and we put in aviation institute. If you are more doing something a little weird, like maybe doing, I don't know, something different, there's also aviation consulting as an option for that. We put ours as a marketing agency, then the second as an aviation consultancy, aviation consultant as a second type. But for a flight school or for a training center, I would put yours as a flight school / aviation institute. You can also list every single product and service you do. So private pilot, instrument, commercial, CFI. Those are all things you can add into your Google Business Profile. So I've already, if you follow me, which I know some of you guys don't, but there is a lot of good content on our website and also our YouTube and past webinars about Google Business Profile. So I'm not going to go into that one too long. The next number was a 6. So let's do this here. Start from the top. We got 1. We got 2, 3, 4. I'm kind of giving you a 5 and 6. We got 6 here. So LinkedIn. Alrighty, LinkedIn. Can you give me some tape here for this one? So I'm not fumbling the mic. All right, so LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a network for professionals to network with. A network for professionals to network with. Okay. So LinkedIn is it's a different type of messaging that's used in there. There's a lot of professional language you want to use here. The main takeaway for this is you want to have a company profile. You obviously have your personal profile. You have descriptions in there. If you have events, you can add events to that as well. We recommend adding, for example, this webinar was posted on LinkedIn as an event. Other things you can do on LinkedIn. It depends on your target customers too. So if your flight school has a lot of older people, maybe career changers, maybe in the 30s, 40s, 50s, LinkedIn is a great place to do some marketing, to do some posts, add your solos and stuff like that to it. It's a great place to get engagement. A lot of people really storm LinkedIn just as like business people. Maybe they were working in, let's say another company, thinking about pilot training, whatever, and then your stuff kind of comes up. It's also they're there. They're the older people, the more professional, kind of the young urban professional, 30, 40, 50s. They're on LinkedIn. They're trying to get jobs. They're trying to get places. So put your stuff on there. I did have a school one time that did not want to put anything on LinkedIn because if she put her name and the business name linked together on LinkedIn, she was afraid that a bunch of like CFIs and prospects would start spamming the hell out of her. So, but here's the thing: when you market yourself, when you're putting yourself out there in the world, what happens is more people can see you. So there's a bigger target around you. So you're gonna get more spam calls. You're gonna get more I don't know, job applicants, depending on what you're looking for. But you also get a lot more leads. So it rises proportionally, right? So the spam changes. So like when I first started out, it was all about, hey, your business profile is bad. So now it's like, hey, can we throw you $1 million for a plane? I'm like, I got funding opportunities and AI chatbots. That's what I get for spam now these days. I think everyone has their own flavor of spam that they get, but anyway, I'm on a tangent. LinkedIn is a great place to put some posts up there. Do it at least once a week. I think this is a weekly thing. I don't think it's a daily thing. It's also good for if you have a blog. So going back to our SEO topics, if you have a blog, a good way to get good visibility on that blog is to repost it on LinkedIn. Not as just a simple post, but actually create an article in LinkedIn. And if you have good keywords in there, it shows up on Google as a ranking too. So for that, I'm in between A and B here for LinkedIn. It's definitely not an S tier. I'm going to put it as a B actually because there's more room for other platforms to go. I do think it's a great platform to be on. Not every school we work with has LinkedIn, to be honest with you, which I kind of hope we can do. I hope we can get on LinkedIn for all our schools. Is it the best bang for buck? Not really, but it does help a lot. It helps a lot for social media marketing. So you can put long form content on there. Not a lot of people will engage more than 3 minutes, to be honest with you. Most of the time these days on LinkedIn is actually short form and medium. No long, nothing. I mean, we do. I think we do the podcast that streams live on there, but there's not many people that watch it, to be honest with you, on LinkedIn. So I would say this is a short, medium form content. I'd say there's mostly video. Graphics can work on LinkedIn too. Actually, this is actually not so much video focused, although there is a video component to it. And there's a lot of room for keywords and descriptions there. So think about your same principles though for strategy. Think about your hook. Think about being human and personable. Think about making sure it's a real, authentic image. Try to represent your company the best way as possible on LinkedIn. Stand out, be professional. That's kind of the vibe that LinkedIn comes with. All right, what's the next number here? We had 9. We already got 2 down. We had 11 total, so I guess that's the very last one here, which is X in this case. So this is Twitter X. I don't know if it's this way or this way. I don't know. I don't really know what it is. But that's Twitter. Let's talk about Twitter for a bit. So Twitter. What really surprises me about Twitter is that I think a lot of people are on it. Like, there's a lot of people that actually have been recently, especially with the recent presidential election. After Elon Musk bought it out, a lot of people that you might have never thought of are actually on Twitter. But here's the kicker, though: they're on Twitter, but they're not really. There's not much aviation content on Twitter. I don't know if you know this. I don't really see many flight schools on Twitter talking about their flight school. I don't really see many consultants or marketing agencies or anything about aviation really much at all on Twitter. I see a lot of political stuff. I see a lot of I guess fights. I see a lot of fights and gun stuff. I don't know. It depends on your feed, I guess. But a lot of the stuff I see on Twitter is actually political, not really about commercial stuff and business stuff. So with that being said, though, if you are a flight school just starting out and you have not yet gotten your social media profiles done, don't have any SEO done, don't have PPC done, don't have any of this stuff done, if you create a Twitter profile with your name of your business, it will actually rank on the first page of Google. Surprisingly, Twitter and Instagram does that. Twitter, Instagram, you can potentially sign up. If you look up the name of your flight school or name of your business, it will actually show up your Twitter profile probably on page 1 or page 2, depending on how many things you have online. Do I think it's good to post on there regularly? I'd say yeah. I'd probably say it's a once a month thing, once a quarter. It's not that important. The main thing for me is I think you should create it though and have some activity on it. I don't think you're gonna get much engagement from it at this current moment. You can live stream to it. You can do ads on it. I don't really recommend doing ads on Twitter. But it's a platform, right? So for that, I will rank it actually a C. It's not really the best platform for a flight school, but it does have benefits. So I do think you should create your Twitter profile if you don't have one yet made for your flight school. That way you can actually get another backlink. It's another SEO tactic. So post on there pretty frequently, maybe once a month. Don't put too much effort to it. But yeah, you should create a Twitter profile. All right, we got 4, 6, 9. What's it? We have another number here. We have how many have left? We have about 8 left here. Number between 1 and 8. We got 1. I got Snapchat. This is the first one up here. So Snapchat, kind of talked about Snapchat just a little bit earlier. So Snapchat does a lot of things with, a lot of the audience here is younger kids, so Gen Z. You have Gen Z on the platform a lot. Sam, what do you want to talk about Snapchat for a bit? You talk about Snapchat for a bit?
I don't think Snapchat. People do run Snapchat ads where it can show up as a snap as if someone had like sent you a message, but it's from a company. But I don't think it's right for B2C or like flight schools or aviation. I think it's big stuff like Tyson Foods and stuff like that. It's not really made for advertisements, I don't think. Although you can do them. Also between stories you can. It's another option, but you don't really get backlinks from it.
No, you don't get there's no SEO, no backlinks to it.
Yeah.
You can run ads. There's not really much engagement from the flight school community on Snapchat, so you guys know where this is going, right?
Yeah, I'd take it. I'd do F tier
It's
too.
going on to F tier here, unfortunately. That is an F tier social media. But yeah, for business and for making money, I don't think it's the best one for you. We're just gonna go from the top. We're not gonna ask for numbers anymore. We're running out of time, so we're just gonna keep going with it. Next one's Yelp. So Yelp is not really a social media platform, but it is kind of in a way. I want to add this in here because there are all these different platforms you have to think about, right? So as you're marketing your business, you want to put yourself everywhere as possible. And Yelp is something that always gets forgotten about. It was very popular, I want to say back in 2010, 2012, around then. It's kind of similar to Twitter though. So what happens is if you create a Yelp account, it will show up on the first page of Google. And here's the thing about this too. So you want to be careful about Yelp because it's not used very frequently and it's on first page of Google, so it has very high impact. But because it's not used frequently, people don't really think about it. The issue with it is reviews, right? So we talk about reviews a little bit with Google Business. I mean, that's probably the best place to put a review in. A lot of times, Yelp is another place to put reviews in too. You can funnel people to leave you a Yelp review. The issue here is that not many schools do it. We don't really push it for our flight schools as well. What happens is if you have a disgruntled student or a disgruntled CFI and you have no reviews on Yelp, and then they give you a 1-star review, first off, you can't really comment on it, so you can't really reply back to it. And you can't really do anything with the Yelp. It just stays there, right? So you want to make sure because it is on the first page of Google that you actually keep this up to date. You're actually like you have your profile set to there. I would not advertise on this network. That's not my cup of tea here. You advertise on this network, the Google network. But yeah, the issue is that because on the first page of Google, people look your stuff up. They might see the 1-star review right away. So I would say at least once a year, review your profile, maybe get a couple reviews in there. At least build it up over time. It's not super important, but it is there because it's there. So can we get some tapes in? And for this, I'm gonna rank it with the same kind of spot with Twitter. It's a C tier. You need to consider it. It does show up on Google, so it's something you gotta consider. But would I wait? But I would try to manage this profile like every single day. No, I'd probably look at it maybe a month or so. Make sure you do build it though. So they do offer not offer. If you create a profile with Yelp, they will do a verification with you. So you have to get your phone number verified with Yelp, and they'll also send you maybe a postcard with a code on it. So that's the thing with Yelp. We have a question from Mr. Justin here. So what we got here? It sounds like not having Yelp is best unless you can guarantee a consistent stream of high reviews. I would say because one of the things for SEOs, you want to be listed as many places as possible. Yelp does help a lot because it's on the first page of Google. So you should create it. Uh, I mean, you're not running any risk if you're running a really tight ship. So if you're running a really nice operation, if you believe that you're treating your customers with respect, they love you, you don't have any doubts in your mind that there might be a disgruntled customer CFI or something like that that's working for you, yeah, just go ahead and run it. Now on the other hand, if you have people kind of running around with their heads cut off like a chicken or something like that, you might want to we can't really take down the profile. So once it's up, right? You might want to try to get some reviews in there to buffer if you get a negative review in the future. That's the same principle I use for Google. I always want to make sure you're soliciting for more reviews because if you do get a bad review, at least you'll have some more reviews to kind of even it out. So it's kind of buried in a way. Couldn't competitors give fake reviews? Yes, they could potentially. You can always report that to Yelp, and they should be able to delete it. Unfortunately, if they make it sound very authentic, it's kind of hard to get away from. So we have had that with the Google Business Profile as well. There was a recent change about a month ago that went out on Google on their news and stuff like that. Before, when a Google Business Profile had a bad review, they would not want to take it down. Like they said, "Oh, this is a real customer. We need to be transparent to the public." What happened was a few weeks ago, the Charlie Kirk incident happened, right? And a lot of people were putting a lot of bad reviews on hospitals because what happened was, I guess some staff at the hospital said bad things about this political thing, so people had a big outrage of it, and they were giving 1-star reviews to the hospital and different businesses and trying to dox them, DOX, those people. And Google then made the decision to just remove those reviews, and they're actually kind of keeping the same decision for all businesses. So if you have negative reviews, if you submit a ticket, it's actually more higher likely to get it removed now. Just temporary news that came out about a month ago. So, but yeah, it's always a risk. As fake reviews, you want to try to as the bigger you get, the bigger your target gets, right? So try to keep getting more reviews in there. Yelp is kind of not the best place for a flight school to be on. It has high authority from a domain perspective, so it shows up on Google. Um, so yeah, I would get like 5-10 reviews for your flight school, call it a day, and then don't look away. I mean, look away. Just visit it back every quarter or a year. It's not that important, unless you have bad reviews. But like I said, try to be proactive, not reactive. Try to get some reviews in every once in a while. Build it up, put your information on there, move on forward. I'll say this. I'm running out of time here, so yeah, if you have questions, what time we got? 10 minutes. I'm gonna go blast. I'm just gonna blast through the rest of them. So Reddit is our next one. So Reddit has come up as a new one recently. Reddit is it's a forum. So it got started up as a forum where people exchange ideas, people put stuff on here. Um, the thing with Reddit though is it's all about reputation. So if you Google a certain school, or a DPE even, if you Google DPE, a famous DP, they might show up on R flying. So there's different channels in Reddit. The most popular one is called R dash or R slash flying. And what happens in that channel, people talk about, how long does it take to be a pilot? How does it do this? How do you do that? There'll also be posts about certain schools, like, hey, is this school in Arizona a really good school to go to? Hey, what do you think about ATP? Hey, what do you think about Lyft Academy? Look that one up. Hey, what do you think about, I don't know, Stratus Finance or something? Just look it up on Reddit. What happened? What happened is because it's very organic. The people that are commenting are actual people, supposedly not much robots. It does rank. It ranks on Google. So that being said, you want to protect your reputation here. What you should do it's probably once a quarter. I would recommend googling your flight school, see if there's any posts on Reddit. You don't really need to make an account, like a business account. You should have one for maybe yourself or something like that. But there should be a representative of your business on Reddit every once in a while, scoping out what people are saying about you. If there's anything negative, you need to be at the table and be able to counter it. If no one is representing your business and they're not on Reddit, they're not there. And then people are just bad mouthing you and no one's defending it, then it kind of goes to the wayside. So make sure you keep up with Reddit. If you look up your flight school, look up DPEs and stuff like that, see how you show up. Look up your area. So if you type in like flight schools near area, so let's say St. Louis, flight schools near St. Louis, Reddit, and you put that in Google search, you'll see a lot of good content about your local area, what people think, what other students think from other schools are thinking about. So don't sleep on Reddit. It's something that's there. So Facebook. So Facebook is the next one here. Yeah. Yeah. Facebook is I want to say OG of social media. He was like the original gangster, the Snoop Dogg of social media. So these guys were in. These were the first. This was the first platform that ever came out, basically. So when it first came out, you had to be invited to this thing. You had to actually be a college student or a high school student. It's been opened up to the world now these days. I'm not really happy with certain things they do on Facebook, actually, to be honest with you. The way they do stuff like ads and all that stuff. I don't, from an ethics standpoint, I don't like a lot of stuff they do. However, it is very perverse or pervasive. Like, it's everywhere. Everyone's on Facebook. So Facebook is your mom, your cousin, your grandma is probably on Facebook. Your students are probably on Facebook. Even the younger kids are on Facebook. It also does long form content now these days, so it's not just medium form and shorts. You can put long form on Facebook too. It's a great place to put your content in. You need to have a Facebook profile. You should link that right away. It's necessary. You should have a Facebook no matter what. I would rank it at A tier. I wouldn't rank it just because there's a lot of glitches that happen with it. It's kind of glitchy if you run ads and stuff like that, and you don't know that the algorithm is kind of weird and all that stuff. I'd give it a A tier. Let's do that one. TikTok. TikTok is the next one we got going on here. TikTok is something that came from China. Singapore Singapore for China. Came up recently. A lot of kids use it. A lot of people use it. So it's a doom scroller app. So what happens with this? People go on it. They're not really looking for stuff. It's kind of like Instagram. They're looking at pictures, or Facebook. They're not looking at stuff. They're not really looking for flight schools here. They're looking for cool videos that really give them the dopamine hit. One thing they might not know is the TikTok shop. So TikTok shop is coming up as well, so you can buy stuff. I've heard a lot of good success stories with TikTok shop. But for the most part, for flight schools and aviation businesses, I have not seen that much success. The TikTok shop was in different industries like lawn care and stuff like that I was, I work with. But from TikTok from flight schools, I didn't really see much stuff going on here. Now, I do recommend you maybe get on it. It's kind of similar to all these things. You should be on it, but it's not really the best benefit for your company. I do think so far Google Business, these three, those help a lot. So I would either give this a C or an F. I'll put in the F for now. It's a good place to start, but it's not really. You recommend C? He says C. We have a tie for. We'll put a D. I don't have a D here, but it's under D. So we'll put it as a D tier. There. It's not really passing yet, but it could potentially pass with the TikTok shop. People are on it. There's enough people on it, so I will give it a D tier. This one hasn't come up in a while. Pinterest is a good one. I have never seen a flight school with Pinterest, so I'll say that. And I have never. Some people make money off Pinterest, like I have artisans and stuff like that. I think for flight schools, you're not gonna get much content here, so I'll leave that as a simple one as a F. Let's keep it rolling. Almost there. We got Instagram. Instagram's a fun one. So this one came up recently. It was just when I first started, it was just photos, right? Now it's become another doom scroller app. So reels or shorts are very popular here. It's very easy to get engagement here, honestly. So Instagram is probably the best place if you're looking for followers and like engagement and like people to talk to you. Instagram is probably where it is. So this is a great place to put your reels if you do shorts and keywords and all that stuff. So Instagram, it's the good stuff. I would not rate it S tier though. I'll give it a A tier. Kind of the same with Miss Zuckerberg gets an A, doesn't get the God status. Okay, I'm on time. Our last one here is YouTube. YouTube is probably the number one sleeper agent here. No one has. Very few flight schools I work with have a YouTube channel, but this is actually the best place for any business to put their stuff on. So I'm gonna rank this on top. The reason why is because right now we are trying to work with Google until OpenAI and all that stuff takes over. We're trying to work with whatever Google says, and obviously putting your content on Google Business and YouTube has the best result for showing up on search. So YouTube, you have shorts, you have long forms, you have medium. Everyone's on it. It's kind of similar to Facebook. Everyone's on it, so I think you should put your stuff on YouTube. If you don't have a YouTube channel for your flight school yet, please get one started. We have some good tips on here as far as how to do it. So I want to bring it back. We have 5 minutes left. We're going to bring it back over here to the flight school marketing system. There we go. There we go. You're good. So we're at the flight school marketing system over here. This flight school marketing system is what this is all about, right? So social media kind of comes in all these things. We have your website, SEO. There's PPC components to some of these social media profiles. There's reputation is definitely a big one for this. So make sure you get you started here. What I think you should do is you look at your flight school marketing system, look at different components, give yourself a grade. Am I doing a good job with my reputation, with my authority? Do I show up on Google search? Am I running ads? Are people converting really well? Do you have a really good website? Those are the questions you should rank yourself. Give yourself a red light, yellow light, green light. Rank where you're at. If you are at the yellow and red status for your flight school, I highly recommend contacting Rudder Marketing. We are a marketing agency. We work with flight schools exclusively. We help whether you guys grow your business. We help you do your thing. So give us a call, 314-804-1200. All right. That is the end of the webinar. Who has questions? Any more questions before we end up here? Going once. Going twice. All right. We're going to end here. So really appreciate everyone that hopped on this webinar. We had about 12 people on here. Really thank everyone that was here. I really appreciate everyone that was in the background helping us for the logistics of this. We have Sam on the background doing the camera work. We got Raul also doing the software, called the software in Riverside here. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. We're here to support you guys. We love working with flight schools. We love planes. We love aviation. Give us a call. So see you guys next time. And this will be syndicated out like I kind of described. Recycle content and be consistent. See you guys around.